The mid-14th century marked the beginning of a transition between the medieval times and the modern wars of the Renaissance period. In these times, it was a time of war and discovery. The life of Hernando Cortez Pizarro is a good example of this transitioning. His earlier career was desirable. He was well educated, and many people call him a monster for the bloody battles that lay at his feet. Was Cortez a cold-hearted killer? We will discuss the beginning of his life, the middle of his life, which he is most known for, and the ending after he took down the Aztec Empire. Hernando Cortez Pizarro was born in 1485 in Medellin, Spain, and he was a sickly child. His family was thought of as upper class, and they were known to have nobility, but he was not wealthy. They were kind of poor. In an online life science article, Sizzle states at the age of 14, he was sent to study law at the University of Salamanca, but he was restless and unhappy. People were making new discoveries every day and learning new things. There was a lot to be seen that had never been thought of yet, and with Cortez being bored and the New World being discovered, it sparked his adventurous interest. Sizzle also states in his article, in 1504, at age 19, Cortez set sail to the New World. In 1511, he joined Diego Velázquez's expedition to conquer Cuba. He spent 7 years in Hispaniola, which is now the Dominican Republic and Haiti. And despite his current success that he had there, he wanted more. Morris states in the book, The Story of Mexico, in 1914, his first display of courage and ability was in the work of his conquest in Cuba under Velázquez. This showing Velázquez he was capable to take the voyage to Mexico, he was selected to lead. However, Sizzle stated, Velázquez canceled the voyage at the last minute. Ignoring his orders, though, Cortez set sail with 11 ships and over 500 men. Mexico had been discovered just a year prior, and the Spaniards were eager to settle it. This is a map of the voyage that he took from Cuba over to the Yucatan, and it shows where he went years after. And in 1519, Sizzle stated that Cortez's ships reached the coast of the Yucatan. Cortez made many allies with the Aztecs, enemies, on his journey, and he was greeted with kindness and many gifts. He was also greeted with an invitation to go meet the emperor of the Aztecs, Montezuma. And this is a photo of him. And this is a pretty known photo, and he was usually seen wearing the green headdress. They were very respectful of each other when they met, and they had numerous meetings. However, on one of their meetings, Cortez had talks with him about their religion, and they didn't agree with each other. He didn't agree with the darkness of their religion and the sacrifices that they did. He wished to convert the whole empire into Christianity. Montezuma, he convinced Montezuma to come with them and to be a prisoner in one of his own houses there in Mexico. He refused at first, but later caved in. In many of the articles I read, there were different stories, and I wasn't sure how to confirm which one was true, but the stories that I read was he was either killed by the Spaniards during war, he was stoned by his own people for seen for being weak for being taken hostage to the Spaniards, or he just refused to eat while he was in their care. Once the city had fallen, he began to rebuild over the ruins and became governor of New Spain, which he was later suspended from his duties, and he had much less power in the end. His later voyages weren't notable except for one. Sizzle states, Cortez explored the northern part of Mexico and discovered Baja California for Spain in the later 1530s. He died in 1547 when he was 62 from pleurisy, and that's an infection a viral infection that gets on the lining of your lungs. Here's another picture. And this is what the Aztec Empire, a drawing of it, what it would have looked like in those days. Many bloody battles were fought, yet he seldom attacked without someone provoking or without introducing to something more substantial. Boyd states this in her online article, Her Name Cortez, the Caesar of Mexico. Cortez's life was full of adventure, glory, and power. Now that you've heard a brief overview about his life, the beginning, the middle, and the end, do you consider him a killer, or do you find it plausible for the ages in which he lived? And here's another photo.